Hello and welcome to the Indiana State Archives Hands-on Archive series, where we take brief close-up looks at some of the records in our collection, talk about their physical qualities, their provenance, and their content. Today we have a very special record in honor of Statehood Day. This is the Indiana State Constitution of 1816. This is our first state constitution, which was superseded by our current constitution in 1851. This thing you're seeing right here is actually a custom slipcover made for the volume in 1992 when it was restored. We'll talk about some of the things they worked on in the restoration as we go through the volume here. So this is a sheepskin binding. We open up just to the first page. We can see some of the evidence of the restoration here. This is paper tape that has been used to secure the pages to the binding. You can actually see, obviously this isn't restored, but some of the reasons they need to do restoration is the pages have become very dry and easily to crack and break the edges of. So part of the process was sort of remoisturizing the pages and the cover. Turn the page here. This is frequently shown as being the first page of the Constitution, but this is actually the ordinance accepting the Enabling Act from the U.S. Congress. Essentially saying we accept the terms of the act and that the following is the Constitution that is necessary for that process. That's the one page in here that's folded over like that. Now we have the title page. And then finally, the actual text of the Constitution. We, the representatives of the people of the territory of Indiana in convention, met at Corydon on Monday, the 10th day of June, in the year of our Lord, 1816, and of the independence of the United States, the forthwith having the right of admission into the general government as a member of the Union, consistent with the Constitution of the United States, and so on. Here we go. And then we actually get into the articles of the Constitution and so forth. So one of the interesting things you can see as part of the restoration, you can see some evidence of it here where the ink pools. This ink is actually acidic. And you can see on the opposite pages here, some of the burn-in from that ink, or on the reverse of the pages, here's actually an example where, I don't know if you can see it, but the ink has burned through this page and left a hole in it. If we go a couple pages deeper here, here's actually a great page to show this happening. We've got these tally marks down here and this here. And that is, you can see the burn in there and the hole left over there. One of the other things that you'll see, the margins on this are very tight. Before the restoration, some of the text had been cut off. Part of the restoration was extending the edges of the pages to match the volume and to restore some of that cut off text. You will notice that, this is a one and only draft sort of deal. So there will be places where they strike out things or hyphenate words to split the line breaks or write over words to correct them. There's in the point where they talk about the governor or president in here, they've recapitalized president because they put a lowercase and so on. But yeah, so this Constitution had some serious political flaws. One of the more obvious and notable is that it does not have any way of selecting the attorney general or state prosecuting attorney. There were a lot of calls to have this amended or to have a new constitutional convention. It was never amended during its 35-year span. Finally, in the 1840s, we had some major public works failures led by the Wabash and Erie Canal that sent the state into financial crisis. And that finally was the impetus to call for a new convention and create the Constitution that we work under today. If we look in the back here, we can see where it was signed by the member delegates to the convention. There's Jonathan Jennings' signature. That is the first governor of Indiana. We'll also see some familiar names here. For instance, here is James Noble. A lot of the counties are named after a lot of the delegates to the convention. Davis Floyd, Benjamin Park there. So yeah, you'll find a few familiar names. I'll have links in the bottom to the full text of the Constitution and to a list of the delegates, which counties they're from, and their sort of backgrounds in the description. Yeah, so that is the 1816 Constitution. We keep this at the archives in a safe inside the vaults for most of the year. On Statehood Day, it goes to the Indiana General Assembly. It goes to the State House. Is put on display there while the assembly is in session. That's all for today. Join us again next time on Hands On Archives. We'll take a look at a new record.